Welcome to Going Deeper with David Steele, the show that dives into the heart of environmental solutions while literally floating on the source, the ocean. In just a few short minutes, we'll meet with the entrepreneurs and game changers that are making a difference in people's lives through the products and services they provide. Get ready to unplug from the matrix of mediocrity and plug into nature as we discuss the solutions to many of today's biggest challenges. It's time to go deeper. All right. This is an incredibly special version of Going Deeper with my dear friends, Joe and Kelly. I'm so excited. You'll notice we are at the beach looking at some pretty awesome waves in Uvita at Envision Fest, but we're not out in the water. We are here in nature, which is amazing. And I'm just super stoked. I have met so many incredible people, and we've known each other for several years now, and I had no idea about the incredible work that they're doing. And I got a chance to hear Kelly speak today on creating communities, and not just sustainable communities, but regenerative communities. Really, really, really cool stuff. I'm gonna just get right into it. And first off, can you tell me, what's your why? Why are you guys here? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. This is so awesome to be doing this at Envision together and to be having this experience with so many people that are also like-minded and looking to create projects like this. My why basically is, ever since I was younger, I always wondered why the world was the way that it was and saw all the suffering that we have, homelessness, hunger, poverty, pollution, waste of resources, environmental destruction, all these things happening. And I wondered, what can I do about that? I wrote in my journal when I was younger
Wow.
to actually take over the world and make it unite in peace. So it's kind of a funny way of saying that, but I wanted to do something to make the world a better place. And I ended up getting into finance and real estate investments because my family had a lot of money issues when I was growing up, so I really wanted to make sure that that wasn't an issue for my family and for others, because I really wanted to figure out that way to help a lot of people. And so I got into finance. I started doing real estate investments, and we were doing wholesales and flips. We did rentals, Airbnbs. We had a huge group where we were doing public speaking and did training for people to learn how to do real estate investments. And it was ultimately, helping them create a better lifestyle for themselves. However, there was still all of these, horrible things happening in the world. And so I wanted to find a way where we could actually get to the root of the issue, because I knew just making more and more money wasn't going to solve the root issue. So what actually, I watched, what inspired me more than anything, I watched the Venus Project documentary, and that talks about how you can actually live and set up your society in a way to have abundant resources, food, water, energy, and waste, all sourced within the actual project, and how then we can focus on our creativity, our passions, our purpose, innovations that benefit humanity and the planet.
So cool.
So that's really what inspired me, and I knew when I saw that documentary that this is my life mission. And so I started just traveling to all these different eco-villages, 60 eco-villages now, and now...
Did you say 6 or
60.
60 eco-villages?
60,
oh my God.
Yes, and just researching what's working, what's not, researching the building materials and regenerative systems and permaculture design that we could use. And then ultimately being able to bring that to eco-villages, bring the finance and the real estate background to eco-villages, and that's where we created New Earth Development. So
I just love that. I love that.
Do you want to share too?
Yeah, definitely. And for me, my journey really came from the inner work side of things and exploring how many people in my engineering career path and my career path in corporate sales, how many people weren't actually living their deepest purpose, how many people weren't super happy. My family wasn't. My mom had a traumatic brain injury when I was 14, and I saw that her ability to do what she had ever imagined being her dream kind of stopped being possible. And I really was driven by this sense of realization for how short life is and how we all have an opportunity to live what we feel like is the manifestation of our highest vision for all of humanity. And it takes courage. But what really sunk in for me was when Kelly pointed out to me that the reason that it's hard for everybody to live their purpose. I was a purpose coach for years in 2017. And she's like, well, the reason that it's hard for people to live their purpose is because, the education system isn't full of all of the alternative education that's required to really get the spiritual awakening process. And the grocery store isn't always filled with the highest vibration foods at affordable pricing. And, the food doesn't come from nearby, and you're not surrounded by neighbors who share your values. And, the list goes on. And when you flush the toilet, what happens to your waste isn't totally the best for the planet all the time. And where your trash goes is not really working. So we're surrounded by all of these things that are constantly working against what our highest values could be. And I saw that this was kind of forcing everybody to swim upstream, especially in an environment where you have to work to survive and you're listening to negative news. The environment itself is creating a very challenging situation for people who desire to live a more meaningful expression of their creativity. So once that really clicked, after Kelly and I fell in love in 2018, I was like, okay, I'm devoting all of my knowledge and business experience and, engineering mindset and everything to ensuring that this really has a shot to be a message and a business system that the world can take part in. And so
I love that. I love that. And for the audience, I'm always talking about the ocean and the environment and, plastics and things like that. I'm always talking about how we could be more sustainable. And one of the things I love about you two is, besides the fact that it's just feels good to walk in the warmth of your love and how you take care of each other. It's really amazing. Besides that, it's really cool that you're talking about regenerative, in that it's more, it's one thing to try to be more sustainable, but it's yet another thing to actually try to create an environment where you're leaving things better than they were when you got there. And it's such a huge thing. And, one of the things that was exciting when I heard you talk today, besides the fact that you're a badass speaker and a drummer was beating the loudest drums in different beats, and you didn't even blink. It was amazing. I don't know that I could have done that, but besides that is that you're really looking at a holistic approach to creating a community, and in order to increase your impact, you put together a program to teach anybody who wants to learn how to create a regenerative community how to do it from A to Z, which is amazing. So can you just tell me briefly a little bit about the program you put together to teach people how to be more than just sustainable?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely wanted to have a way to share our model, because for a long time we've been talking about, creating the blueprints, creating the model so that anybody could really do this. And so we've basically taken everything that we've done in the pre-development planning stage to get to the point now where we've been able to be pre-approved for $26 million in financing for our project, and be able to share that with other people, because we could see, okay, that worked well, so this is the things that they need to know to be able to get from just having the vision to being able to make it to where we are ultimately at now, which is just about to start, the launch of our large project and have things well underway. And so, basically just putting in together how to go through the process, first creating your vision and mission and purpose, and really dropping into that, creating your vision documents so that you can put that into your executive summaries and your pitch decks and things like that, and then going into the development planning, revenue planning, all of the things that you need to do to be able to solidify your project, and then to put that all into and then also to create the business plan that goes along with the pitch deck, and then to put all of that into a financial model as well, and create the pitch deck, and then actually get funding with it. How do you even set up your legal entities? How do you put together the funding for the project? So we address all of those different things, and share our templates too, because it's not like we're just telling people how to do this. We're actually like giving them, all you have to do is just take our templates, put in the information, and then boom, you'll have your financial model, you'll have your business plan, and we give them the whole outline and everything. So yeah, we just wanted to do that because we see that this, like, so many people are getting this download and this vision, because this is the new way that we're going to create society, and like creating the new civilization to create an abundant planet that's truly regenerative, where we don't see a lot of these global issues happening. And so in order to do that, we know we can't be alone in this, and we know we're not, and there's so many people that are doing this, so we want them to be successful. So that's why we ultimately created the program, so people could do this as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a really special time to be alive doing this as well. There's a huge demand for it. I was actually doing some research because we had started to talk to more and more investors and investment funds, and it turns out 25% of global assets under management are now earmarked as ESG, environmental social governance, which is like $34 trillion. And so the biggest problem, and we've talked to many investment funds on the other side, their biggest problem is finding enough good deals.
They're not investable.
Yeah, a lot of deals aren't investable. And if a deal is investable, it also has to be prepared to track impact metrics of exactly how is it being regenerative, how many trees are being planted, how is biodiversity being increased, all of the things. And so one big thing that we're really dedicated to is helping people bridge that gap. You know, get to a level of professionalism in this regenerative vision that so many people are coming out of ayahuasca journeys with. You know, it's the natural evolution of human consciousness, is to see, well, the way that we live could be more in alignment with Mother Earth and all of our dreams. And it's the money is, so much money is out there wanting to fund it, but you have to professionalize it, and that's really what this program does.
I love that. And I came here to to Costa Rica, specifically thinking I really want to spend some time in Nosara, because everybody talks about, like, this is the community that you might want to be at. This is a really grounded place, and that a lot of my friends from San Diego and Encinitas are like, yeah, this is what will feel like home. And then, I talk to you and I'm like, where's your project? And you're like, oh, we're building near Nosara. And I'm like, I love that. And, we're not going to have a long podcast because it's pretty dark already. So we're gonna wrap up pretty quickly, and hopefully we can lighten things up and edit. But I just want to say a few things. First off, we could talk an hour about what a regenerative community is, and there's so much to it. And essentially, kind of what I'm getting is, how can we come someplace, live someplace, and create something that's better than was already there, protecting what was already there, and really thinking about the full aspects of what it takes, everything from waste management to food resources to financial resources to governance to everything about a community. And for most people, they may have a distinction in one of those things, or maybe more, but very few people are going to know how to do all of that. So what you're doing is just so incredibly needed. And we're going to share in the notes some links to your platform first, so that people that are wanting to get into this can do this and save themselves a ton of money and actually have a professional offering pretty quickly. Not easily. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but a huge head start. And then in addition to that, there's an opportunity with what you're building. And the one thing I know for sure is that when people invest, they invest in the team. They invest in the location and all of that as well. But what you're going to do, you're the ones teaching people how to do this, and you've put the thought and effort and energy into your project. And so there's still an opportunity to get into one of the most beautiful places. And as soon as this Envision Festival is over, I'm hopping in the car for 5.5 hours so I can take a look and see what you're up to. But I think it's really, really incredible. And I hate to do such a short podcast, but I'm having a hard time seeing you. So I think we could talk for hours. So this will be continued. I may actually drag you out on paddle boards at some point, because it's actually really fun when you're floating in the source, when you're floating on the ocean. But I just so appreciate both of you and what you're up to, and what you're creating is really incredible. And yeah.
Thank you so much. And yes, we want this to be the new standard of how people build in real estate. So to make it as easy as possible for people to actually build regeneratively rather than, what's been really destructive on the planet is our core mission and purpose. And to create a world that works for everyone and is in harmony with nature and each other, and where we can all truly thrive and create a better world. So
yeah,
I love it.
Thank you, David, for creating this platform, brother, and for taking the time to ask us some questions. And thank you, everybody watching and listening from home, for the courage to continue to expand your mind and explore new ways to have a better human experience, because that's what we need.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for going deeper.
Yeah,
all right. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Going Deeper with David Steele. I hope you found inspiration and insight to fuel your passion for a better world. Remember, change starts with us, and together we can be the driving force for a brighter, more sustainable future. So until next week, keep your hearts open, your minds curious, and your actions aligned with the planet's well-being. Stay committed, stay conscious, and let's meet right back here next time for another deep dive into making a difference.